If you could lose weight while you're sleeping, it would seem like magic. It wouldn't require much effort, and in this video I'm going to share with you 8 tips that are going to allow you to burn more body fat while you sleep. If you're interested in learning how to lose body fat and build muscle, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and if you click the little bell as well, it will notify you every time I upload a new video. Also, right at the end of the video, stay to the bonus tip. I'm going to share with you exactly what the best amount of sleep to have is, whether it's 7 hours, 8 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours. I'm going to share that with you in the bonus tip. I like to give everybody a quick guide to what we're going to talk about and just lay out the tips that we're going to go deeper into in a second. So first of all, the calorie deficit, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about meal timing and how that affects you burning fat while you sleep. The sleep length, we're going to talk about that. Number 4 is lowering the temperature in your room and how that's going to affect how much fat you burn. The weight training side of things and how weight training is going to help you burn more body fat whilst you're sleeping. I'm going to go deeper into that. Drinking more water, but more specifically cold water, and the effect that has on the body. Number 7 is some supplementation that I recommend. Number 8 is going to be how eating more fats and proteins is going to allow you to burn more body fat while sleeping and keep you more full. And also at the end, don't forget the bonus tip. The first tip that I need to talk about is actually what you do during the day. You need to understand this. You need to eat in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. All the other 7 tips in this video will help you burn more fat while you're sleeping. But if you're not doing the core things correct during the day, meaning eating in a calorie deficit, all of these tips won't just magically work. So it's in combination with a calorie deficit. If you want a simple calculation on how to eat in a calorie deficit, just take your body weight in pounds, multiply that number by 10 to 12 and eat that number of calories per day. Tip number 2 is meal timing. What we don't want to do is eat right before bed, because getting more sleep is going to mean we're going to burn more body fat, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But what we don't want to be doing is eating loads of calories right before bed. It's not because we're going to store more body fat, it's that you'll feel more bloated, and it's typically harder to get to sleep at night if you're going to be eating a lot of food before bed. So what I recommend doing is eating around 2 hours before bed. So for example, if you go to sleep at 11, then eat at 9 p.m. And in that meal, this is important, I recommend getting some casein protein if you can. You can either have that in a casein protein shake, or you can have that in a form such as a yogurt. I do that before bed. Around 2 hours before bed, I'll have a yogurt because it has a blend of whey and casein. So basically, whey protein is fast absorbing, casein is slow absorbing, so you get more protein throughout the night. This is also important to have protein before bed, even if it's not one of those sources, just because it helps to keep you full. Just very quickly before we get into tip number 3, for the next few weeks my one-on-one coaching is going to still be available. If you want to get coached by me one-on-one, I can't accept everybody as a client, but you can apply to work with me. So if you click the link in the description, it will take you to a page where you fill out a questionnaire. When you've filled that out, I'm going to go through, look at the applications, and whoever I feel like the best fit is for me and for you to work together, I will email those people back and we'll talk about working together if you're a good fit for the program. If not, I can always point you in the right direction of someone else that I think might be able to help you. So you can apply for that down below. It's only going to be available for the next couple of weeks. Tip number 3 is to sleep more to burn more fat, and it seems like a simple, obvious tip, but you have to understand how active your brain is and how active you are during the night. Even though you're just laid there, you burn a lot of calories during the night. We're producing testosterone, we're setting our bodies up for the next day, repairing damaged cells, damaged muscle fibers. It's going to take a lot of calories to do all of those processes whilst you're sleeping. So just add in an extra hour of sleep to what you currently get. If you get 7 hours, just add in an extra hour to get to 8 hours. It's going to allow you to burn more body fat while you sleep. You also have to factor in that your body will slow your metabolism down if you get less sleep, because you're going to be awake for more hours in the day. Tip number 4 is lower the temperature in your room that you're sleeping in. If it's a hot climate where you live, hopefully you have an AC unit, or open a window. Anything you can do to make your room colder, not cold to the point where you can't actually sleep, but you should be a little cold when you go to bed. And this is going to allow you to burn more calories. If you think about this logically, we're actually designed to sleep in a cooler environment. When the sun goes down, it naturally gets a few degrees colder. We're really designed to sleep outside. We're not designed to sleep in houses that are man-made. So really we are supposed to be in a cooler environment when we go to sleep. Sleeping in a cooler temperature better utilises brown fat, which I'll do a separate video on white fat and brown fat, but that's really important for us to burn more body fat. It's also going to increase your testosterone. I mean, even if you think about it logically, for the guys out there that are watching this video, how come the testicles are on the outside of the body? The reason is because they're supposed to be cooler. If they were supposed to be warmer, they would be on the inside of the body. Tip number 5 is to do weight training. This is going to burn so many more calories at night because that's when your body's repairing the damaged muscle fibers that you've been working in the gym. That's when your body's repairing itself. That's going to require a lot of calories to repair those muscles. It requires a lot of work to do that. When you have bigger muscles, then you're going to burn more calories in general. So if I have 14-inch arms and you have 17-inch arms, you're going to burn far more calories just at rest than I will, because that bigger muscle is going to require more energy, more calories to function. Tip number 6 is to drink more cold water around 2 hours before bed, around the same time that you have that last meal. The reason is because you don't want to be bloated, like we said with the meal. We want to be able to get to sleep fast, and that's one of the good ways to do it, but also because we don't want to be getting up, if we can avoid it, in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, but at the same time we still want to be hydrated. So maybe 2 glasses before bed, 2 hours before bed is going to be optimal, and hopefully by that time we won't have to get up in the middle of the night, because that's going to disturb your sleep. It's going to mean less quality sleep. Drink most of your water during the day, and especially early in the morning. And the one thing that's very important is all of the things we've talked about, testosterone, brain function, burning calories in general, won't work as well if we're dehydrated. When you go to bed and you're in bed for 8 hours, everybody is dehydrated when you wake up. Being in that dehydrated state means everything doesn't work as well when you're not hydrated. Tip number 7 is supplements. So take zinc, magnesium and iodine. I get my iodine from sea kelp. Take that around 2 hours before bed with your water and your meal. Most people are deficient in iodine, and it boosts the thyroid hormone. The thyroid hormone is partly responsible for your metabolism. The faster your metabolism is, the more body fat we're going to burn. That's why I recommend those supplements. Tip number 8 is to eat more protein and to eat more fat. They will both keep you more full. They'll optimize your hormones, but they also, with protein, it has a thermogenic effect, so it takes longer to break down and it requires more calories and more energy to break that food down. So that's why I recommend those 2 things. Also, replace your cooking oils, such as vegetable oil or whatever cooking oils you use, with oils like coconut oil. They have MCTs in them. That's going to boost your energy. It's going to allow you to burn more calories. As I promised you at the start, what is the optimal amount to sleep? So for me, I usually get around 7 hours per night. I do not recommend ever getting lower than 7 hours per night. If you're going to be weight training, doing other things, it's not really a good idea. I certainly wouldn't recommend that for the tips that I've given you in this video. Hitting 8 or 9 hours will be more optimal for losing body fat, but really you have to look at sleep. It's not a one size fits all. Studies show that 7 to 9 hours is optimal. Some people can sleep 4 and be really healthy, but that's probably 1% of the population. It's more of a genetic thing. It's extremely rare that you'll fit into that category. But the thing is, different goals require different sleep times. If you want to be the healthiest person you can be, studies show around 7 hours sleep is best. If you want to burn the most fat, 8 to 9 hours is going to be best. So it really depends on what your goal is and where you're at in your current fitness goals.